You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for joining us here at CBT News this morning. Earlier this month, Hurricane Beryl made its way into the city of Houston and surrounding areas, causing death, damage, and left many residents without power. Among those impacted were local car dealerships. Joining us now with an update on operations post-hurricane is Ben Keating, owner and president of Keating Auto Group, who has 11 dealerships in the impacted area. So we want to get kind of an update as to where you stand today. Ben, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Sure.
Yeah, it was an interesting time for us. I've got 5 dealerships kind of down on the coast in the area that was supposed to be hit by the hurricane, and we were completely prepared down there. Gratefully for some, and unfortunate for others, but the hurricane turned in the last 12 hours and kept going further north. Everywhere where we were completely prepared, I don't even think we got any rain. It was pretty good weather. But as you already said, I've got 11 stores in Houston, and Houston got hit pretty badly. And it's pretty clear to me as I drive around Houston is that city that's that big with that many people is just not expecting or prepared to deal with a hurricane.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We had 8 of our 11 stores without power for as much as a week.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
2 buildings got damage from wind and some water damage from that. But the big thing for us was just being without power.
Yeah.
We were also part of the CDK.
Oh boy.
Outage. And so, we kind of had all this stuff kind of piling up on each other.
Talk about a 1-2 punch, right?
That's right. But, we were able to deal with that. We were able to kind of roll with the punches on the CDK outage, but we're kind of dead in the water without power.
Yeah, literally dead in the water, right? Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Wow. So how do things stand today?
Today, I would say we are relatively back up and running. We have power. Everybody's at work, and we're back up and going. But there are a lot of what I would call kind of unique situations or special conditions. The way a lot of these manufacturers will have incentive monies for monthly performance or CSI performance or all these other things.
Sure.
And because we were without power for long enough, about 20% of our month is gone and will never be recovered.
That's right.
And so that makes it challenging for the month of July. And so we are dealing with all of that. We can't get it back. June was impacted from CDK. July is impacted from Hurricane Beryl. And we just hope that all of this stuff ends up going away, and we can just have a normal month for once.
Yeah, right. Just give you one normal, solid month. So backing up a little bit, talk to us about the CDK situation. To have that many stores on CDK, how long were you down for? And then, of course, the follow-up is going to be, are all the stores back up and running?
I'll say yes. We've got 30 stores in total.
Okay.
We're a CDK group. We have a great relationship with CDK. Mm-hmm. It's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
So all the stores are back up and running. I think we got the flip got switched for the basic version. On like June 29th or June 30th, right there at the end of the month. We had already developed ways of keeping track of handwritten service ROs or all the car deals. So we stayed open. for business. We continue to sell cars. We continue to service cars.
Sure.
It's just a little bit of a snowball of data that grew and grew and grew on, it's really hard to maintain parts inventory as an example,
no
or
question.
vehicle inventory. And, you have to kind of put it back into the system in the same way that you would have done it originally.
Right.
I can't sell a part until I put the part into the system and those types of things.
Sure.
But I'm really proud of the way our team reacted to that situation. And I don't really feel like it cost us that much business.
Okay.
Okay. We were down for the 4th of July weekend, which is a big weekend for us. Clearly, we lost some business there, but I'm really proud of the way the team reacted. We're back up and running now, and over the last 2 weeks. So we were out for 2 weeks. We got it back right at the beginning of the month, and over the last 2 weeks, we've kind of slowly been rolling out the connections to different vendors, the connections to different aspects of our relationship with CDK.
Okay.
We are in eLeads. We use eLeads for CRM. We're kind of getting all that back up and going.
Okay.
All the manufacturers are reconnecting with CDK, and so it's kind of been a slow rollout, but it's more of a pain in the ass than anything else. It's not costing us business. It's just costing us work.
Yeah, for sure. As you know, a number of the publicly traded companies came out just this week and said, hey, it's gonna cause a dent in our bottom line for sure. Even as much as $1.50 on the stock price. I think AutoNation mentioned, and a couple of other companies have said it really hit them hard. But you are saying that it wasn't as hard a hit for you.
I'll say that it all depends on how you measure it. When I read the lines of the CDK outage cost dealers $1.2 billion or whatever, I think that's a revenue number. We sell expensive widgets. You get a lot of revenue in a car sale, but not necessarily a lot of net income on a car sale.
That's right.
And so what I'm talking about is, I'm sure it had a big impact on our revenue.
Yeah.
But I'm saying okay, maybe 10%. Maybe that's $1.50 a share. I'm not a public company, and so I don't measure things in a share price.
Right.
But I'm saying that it was way more painful to be without power for 5 days than it was to be without a DMS for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. You really got.
I also think that as those public companies have to report earnings on a quarterly basis to Wall Street, to a certain degree, if I were in their shoes, I would enjoy a little bit of a hall pass on results.
Right. It was CDK. It wasn't our business being off.
The CDK outage, to a certain degree, gives them a little hall pass on Q2.
Exactly. I totally get it. I might use that as well if I was the CEO of one of those companies. Let me ask you, on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate CDK's response and support once this hit?
Okay, scale of 1 to 10. Maybe I'm too understanding, but.
Well, I mean, you're in a great position to grade it with 30 stores.
I would rate it pretty highly.
Okay.
I would say an 8.
Okay. 8's good. Yeah.
And I think I rate it really highly.
Yeah.
It's a disastrous situation.
It is.
If they chose to not pay the ransom and our system was shut down forever, that would be totally disastrous.
Yeah.
And the fact that they got through it all in a couple weeks and got everybody back up and running is pretty difficult, and I respect them a lot for that.
Yeah.
I've been asked by a lot of people what this compensation looks like that that they've been talking about to dealers, and my answer is I have no idea.
Yeah.
But in terms of being completely caught off guard and completely shut down to being back up and running with what they, what we all feel like is a clean, legitimate solution in 2 weeks is a pretty good job.
Yeah, I would agree. Let me ask you, when you think back now and as you sit there today, what are some of the big takeaways from going through that for you?
Yeah, the big takeaway for me is that is how dependent we are on a computer system, on data, and to a certain degree, I almost feel like no matter how many safeguards you put in place, you're always at risk.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to get in, they're just so, we've got 2,300 employees in our organization.
Wow. And every one of them is a gateway, right?
Every one of them is a gateway.
Right.
Every vendor is a gateway. Every manufacturer is a gateway. Yep. There's so many different places to get in that, I would say I feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
I have spent a lot of money over the last, I feel like we were an early adopter on some cybersecurity. Mm-hmm. We were, I'm good friends with the CEO of CrowdStrike. Mm-hmm. We were one of the first dealer groups to go with CrowdStrike for our network security. Mm-hmm. We've got different email security. So we're spending all this money every year to deal, to work with security. And it's almost a necessity now. I hate spending money. It's insurance.
Yeah, because it's a lot. That money's a lot less than a ransom, right?
Just because you have insurance doesn't mean you don't get hit with a ransom.
That's right.
We've got all these safeguards in place, but I still feel very vulnerable because we have 2,300 gateways out there, 2,500 gateways, and I don't know what the solution is. I'm going to try to put my head down, sell cars and service cars, and recover from this one. But I don't have all the answers to world peace,
right?
And I don't know what that looks like. I just know that long term, these bad actors are not going away.
No, they're not.
Our vulnerability is not going away.
That's right.
And I don't know what the solution is. I just think it's a really delicate situation.
Yeah, for sure. Some say that paying the ransom, whether it be in this situation or others, encourages more of this type of behavior. Do you agree with that or disagree? Or I mean, obviously you got to run your business, and CDK's got to do that. But
what other choice do you have?
I know.
I mean, I suppose if you're CDK, maybe I don't know how this works, but maybe you could run a completely separate system in the background.
Yeah.
And be able to have a backup solution that maybe these bad actors are not part of, but I would say on the ransomware side of things, the fact is they want to get these big companies back up and running because that encourages the companies to pay the ransom.
Sure.
And so as long as paying the ransom gives you a high probability of getting your business back up and running, then I don't know what is more expensive. And I think it's cheaper to pay the ransom and get your customers back up and running, because if you don't pay the ransom, and you no longer have any customers.
And that's what some of the resorts and hotels learned in Vegas when that happened. You had one that was hit big time, and they played tough guy, and it shut them down and cost them millions and millions of dollars. And then, of course, Caesar's Palace, I think, stepped up and said, no, we're paying the ransom, and they kept running their business. And so, yeah, you're right. I mean, how do you know? As a CEO of a company, you just have to really weigh the differences, but it sounds to me like the best way to go. And if I was, CDK, I'd probably stroke that check as well and say, hey, we've got to.
I hate it. As a business person, anytime you're robbed, even if somebody, steals your wallet, it's a violation
Yep.
of a personal violation. I hate it. It rubs me the wrong way. It's easy to say I wouldn't pay the ransom.
That's right.
I don't want to support those bad actors, but
Yeah.
the reality is we're in big business.
Yeah.
CDK's business is data. It is a computer system. If they don't have that, they don't have anything.
That's true.
And so, I mean, I think you have to pay the ransom.
I agree. I agree. Hey, changing gears a little bit with you here. How is the year going so far in Keating Auto Group? Here we are in July of 2024. How's the year been going?
I would say that everyone's opinion about anything is based on a comparison, and the question is compared to what?
Right. Right.
Most of, or I'll say many of my people, I'll say the retail public and my people get amnesia really quickly. Their comparison is the last 4 years, 2020.
That's going to be a problem. Yeah,
that's Disneyland.
That's right.
That's right. And so, compared to 2023, I would say, it looks really tough.
Yeah.
Compared to my business in 2019, I would have told you in 2019 that it was a really good year for us.
Yeah.
2024 compared to 2019 still looks really good.
That's great. That's great.
And so, it is more difficult. We do have, our lots are full of inventory. Our leads are down. Our interest rates are up. The payments are up.
Floor plans up.
Everything is a little tougher.
Yeah.
However, I would say that the car business is still pretty good if I look at my whole spectrum of being in it for 30 years.
Right. Right. Now, the car business is obviously your second love, because I know your first love is race car driving. So give us an update on that, because I think if CDK affected the race car driving, man, it would be forget it, right?
Mayhem then.
Mayhem.
So I would say that in 2023, I had the best season I could have ever dreamed of. I won the LMP2 championship in IMSA.
That's great. Wow.
Won the 12 hours of Sebring, the 6 hours of Watkins Glen.
Jeez.
And then I also did a full season in the World Endurance Championship, driving for Corvette Racing. We won the 24 hours of Le Mans. We won the World Championship, and it was incredible.
Wow.
I'll say that, it comes and goes.
Sure.
I've done 5 races so far in 2024, and I haven't been on a podium yet. Right now, I'd love to just get on the bottom step of a podium for once this year.
You got to let the other guys get on there. I mean, with a record like that in 23, geez.
Yeah, 23 was a great year, and I'm still having a lot of fun. I have to remind myself that's what I do for fun. That's my recreation.
Right.
This is my vocation.
Right.
And so, I have to work to make sure that if it's not fun, I shouldn't be doing it anymore.
That's your why, right? That's your why.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Hey, before we close out, you feeling good about the balance of 2024?
I am.
Okay.
I am. I'm expecting that, hopefully we get a little bit of relief on interest rates.
Yeah. It sounds like we're going to be. It sounds like they're coming down a little in September.
That's what everybody's expecting.
Yeah.
So I hope that we get all of this craziness of our presidential election behind us, and we can get back to a little bit of normalcy. I expect that the rest of 2024 will be similar to the first half of 2024.
Right.
And I will say that it's pretty doggone good, even though it is more of a grind and more work, more difficult than it has been over the last 4 years.
Right, for sure. The very positive, and from the winning circle, Mr. Ben Keating, owner and president of Keating Auto Group. Thank you so much for taking so much time with us here at CBT News. It's always great catching up with you. So many dealers I know get a lot out of your visit with us. So thanks so much, and best of luck.
Hey, thank you. Happy to be on the show.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.